The forest was a tomb of white silence, broken only by the soft crunch of our boots through the snow. We had been moving for 2 hours, following a game trail that Lieutenant Petrov had marked on our map. The objective was simple enough: locate German positions, assess their strength, and return with intelligence. But in war, simple plans had a way of becoming complicated very quickly. I signaled a halt and crouched behind a fallen log, studying the terrain ahead. The forest thinned out into a small clearing, beyond which lay a cluster of abandoned farm buildings. According to our briefing, this was where German patrols had been spotted. Behind me, my 7-man squad waited in a ragged line. Ivan and Vasily had positioned themselves to cover our flanks, their weapons ready. Pyotr knelt beside young Sergei, whose face was pale with nervous excitement. Anton gripped his rifle with white knuckles, while Katya had already found herself a position with good sight lines, her sniper rifle ready. "See anything, Sarge?" Vasily whispered. I studied the buildings through my field glasses. The main farmhouse showed signs of recent occupation: smoke stains on the chimney, trampled snow around the entrance, a path worn between buildings. But no movement, no signs of immediate activity. "Looks quiet," I replied. "But that doesn't mean anything." I handed the glasses to Katya. As our long-range specialist, her eyes were better trained for spotting concealed positions. She studied the target area for a long moment, then shook her head. "No sentries visible, but there are firing positions prepared in the barn loft. See the hay bales? They've been arranged to provide cover." I took another look. She was right. What had appeared to be random farm debris was actually a carefully constructed defensive position. "Professional work," I murmured. "Not partisans, regular troops." The question was, how many? The tank tracks were carving their way into the hills, leaving trails of destruction behind. My gut clenched. This wasn't a static line. "Ivan," I called softly, "take Anton and circle left. See if you can get a better angle on those buildings. Stay low, stay quiet." The big Siberian nodded and gestured for Anton to follow. I watched them disappear into the undergrowth, moving with Ivan's characteristic silent grace. Anton did his best to match the veteran's stealth, but his factory workers' movements were clumsy in the forest. "Katya, find yourself a good hide and cover our withdrawal route. If this goes bad, we'll need your rifle to keep their heads down." She slipped away without a word, ghosting through the trees like a predator seeking the perfect ambush position. That left me with Vasily, Pyotr, and young Sergei. I could see the boy's hands trembling as he gripped his Mosin Nagant, but he was holding together. Fear was normal. Panic would get us killed. "Sergei," I said quietly, "first time under fire?" "First time under fire." He nodded, not trusting his voice. "Stay close to Pyotr. Keep your head down, follow orders, and remember, the enemy is just as scared as you are." It was a comforting lie. The Germans we were facing were veterans, probably as experienced as my own men. But the boy needed confidence, not brutal honesty. A soft whistle from our left flank, Ivan's signal. I raised my glasses again and saw him pointing toward the main building. 3 fingers, Then a circular motion. 3 men moving around. The intelligence was wrong. This wasn't an abandoned position. It was an active German outpost. I was weighing our options when the decision was made for me. A door opened in the main farmhouse, and 2 German soldiers stepped out. Even at this distance, I could see their breath steaming in the cold air as they spoke quietly together. "Reconnaissance patrol," I whispered to Vasily. "We observe, we don't engage." But war has its own momentum. As I watched, one of the Germans pointed directly toward our position. He had spotted something, a reflection of someone's weapon, perhaps, or movement in the tree line. The German soldier raised his rifle. Time slowed to a crawl. I could see the man's finger tightening on the trigger, could see his companion reaching for his weapon. In seconds, they would open fire, and our concealment would be blown. The sharp crack of a rifle shot split the morning air. The German soldier spun and fell, a red stain spreading across his white winter camouflage. Katya had made the choice for all of us. "Contact!" I shouted, as the second German dove for cover behind a woodpile. The barn loft erupted in muzzle flashes as concealed machine gunners opened fire. Bullets whined through the trees around us, chipping bark and sending snow cascading from the branches overhead. "Move! Fall back!" I commanded, but it was too late. We were committed now. Vasily's DP-28 chattered to life, his controlled bursts walking across the barn loft. I saw one of the German machine gunners pitch forward, but another weapon immediately took his place. Young Sergei was frozen in place, staring wide-eyed at the battle erupting around him. A burst of German fire raked the ground near his feet, kicking up spurts of snow. "Sergei!" I grabbed the boy by his collar and dragged him behind better cover. "Stay down and return fire." His hands shook as he worked the bolt of his rifle, but he managed to get off a shot. Wild, but at least he was fighting back. From our left flank came the deeper bark of Ivan's Mosin Nagant, steady and methodical. The big Siberian was doing what he did best, picking his targets and making every shot count. But we were outnumbered and outgunned. I could count at least 6 German weapons firing from the buildings, and there might be more we hadn't spotted yet. "Pyotr," I called to our medic, "can you reach Ivan's position?"
"I think so, Sarge."
"Go! Tell him to fall back! We're pulling out!" As Pyotr scurried through the undergrowth, I heard a sound that made my blood run cold. The mechanical roar of an engine starting up. Somewhere behind the buildings, the Germans had motor transport. Probably an armored car or light vehicle. We had stumbled into more than just an outpost. This was a forward observation position, and they were calling for reinforcements. "Vasily, covering fire. Everyone else, fall back by pairs." The machine gunner laid down a withering barrage, while Sergei and I bounded backward through the trees. The boy was learning fast. His movements were steadier now, more controlled. Anton appeared at my elbow, breathing hard, but still in the fight. "Ivan's pulling back with the new man," he reported. "But there's more Germans coming from the east." I could hear them now, Voices calling out in German, the sound of boots crunching through snow. A full platoon at least, moving to surround us. Another rifle shot cracked from our right flank. Katya again, probably picking off someone trying to outflank us. The woman was worth her weight in ammunition. All units, withdraw to rally point Alpha, I commanded, using the predetermined fallback position we'd established before the patrol. The next few minutes were a running firefight through the forest. German voices echoed behind us as they gave chase, but their unfamiliarity with the terrain worked in our favor. We knew these woods now, had planned our withdrawal routes carefully. Sergei stumbled and went down hard, his rifle flying from his hands. For a moment I thought he'd been hit, but he scrambled back to his feet, face red with embarrassment. "Sorry, Sergeant." "Keep moving." We reached the rally point, a small depression surrounded by thick undergrowth, and I counted heads. All 7 present and accounted for. Sergei was pale and shaking, but unhurt. Anton looked grim but determined. The veterans showed no more stress than if they'd been on a training exercise. "Casualties?" I asked Pyotr. "None. A few scratches from branches, but everyone's intact." Miraculous. In my experience, first contacts usually cost blood. "What's our intelligence assessment?" I asked the group. "Reinforced squad," Ivan reported. "At least 12 men, probably more. Professional setup, good fields of fire." "Motor transport in the rear," Anton added. "Heard them starting engines." "2 confirmed kills," Katya said simply. "Could have been more, but I was conserving ammunition." I nodded. We had what we came for. Enemy strength, disposition, and capabilities. Time to get that information back to Captain Morozov. As we began our withdrawal toward friendly lines, I found myself walking beside young Sergei. The boy had found his feet now, moving with more confidence through the forest. "How do you feel?" I asked. He considered the question seriously. "Scared, but different scared. Like I know what to expect now." "That's good. Fear keeps you sharp. Overconfidence gets you killed." He nodded, then looked at me with curious eyes. "Sergeant, will it always be like this? The shooting, the running?" I thought about lying to him, giving him some comfortable fiction about the war ending soon. But he'd earned honesty with his conduct under fire. "Most of the time, yes. Sometimes worse. But you did well today, Sergei. You didn't break when the shooting started. That's more than many men can say." The boy straightened up a little at the praise. Good. Confidence was as important as competence in this business. As we approached our lines, I reflected on the morning's work. We'd accomplished our mission and brought everyone home alive. The new additions to my squad had proven themselves under fire. Even young Sergei had found his courage when it mattered. But I knew this was just the beginning. The Germans were massing forces for something big, and when that storm broke, we'd need every advantage we could get. Including the deadly skills of our mysterious sniper, Katya Volkova.